friends, I have a special thing to show you today. Something that you've seen on the thumbnail, but here it is, the release of the Diecast Masters Western Star 49X RC dump truck in a 1/16 scale. That's right, they made something that is going to be the desire of many RC enthusiasts. I'm going to tell you in detail today what the good, the bad, and the ugly is of this truck. So stay tuned. Alright, so as we start to dive into this is a beautiful model truck. I mean, every little detail you can think of is there. The chrome, the look of the truck, I mean, everything looks like the real deal from far away. But when you get in close, little details are missing. Little details like those hubs, the caps for the wheels here, right? So that's one of the things that I kind of thought was like, well, if you're gonna put this much effort, you might as well have put that there anyways. But other than that, the truck looks amazing. So let's talk about the specs. This is a 1/16 scale truck, and that's sort of where it fits. It's somewhere close to the Bruder side of toys. If you look at a Bruder truck, it's pretty close in size, and we'll do a quick comparison of that in a second here. But as far as functionality, it does have steering, so the front does steer. And all the wheels in the back here propel the truck, except for this. Alright, so this one here is movable. You can move it up and down, and it does turn. Okay, but it's all on its own. It's a floating set of wheels. The truck's elevation, or to lift the tailgate here, is all on like a rotary dial. So when you push the controller, it'll go up and then it'll go back down on its own. But you can set how high and how fast it goes up. The steering is progressive, so as you turn the dial, it will turn as you put the input in. The one thing about the rear here is, though, the propulsion is not as proportional. Double P there. So what happens is when you go to give it throttle, you have to be super careful if you want it to go slow. If not, it's just going to go as fast as it wants, because it's kind of like an on-off setting, but there is some fine adjustability. So there you have it. It comes with lights. Alright, so the front lights do work, and these little blinkers work. And also in the back, the brake lights and the reverse light work as well, and we'll show you that in a second. So let's get into the motions. Okay, so you get a controller like this. You get a 2000 milliamp battery, similar to the one from like the Huina type excavators. If you have one of those, it's a small little lithium battery, not lithium polymer, but lithium ion, 2-cell, and that comes with the truck. You need to get AA batteries for this guy. Essentially, there's a switch on the bottom here, and there's this switch up here to turn it on. The truck does come with a motor function, so if you press that button, that's right, the engine runs. So as you go forward, the engine doesn't really get much louder. When you go in reverse, it does have the backup beeper, so it'll go beep, beep, beep when you're backing up. Again, the motors in here will kind of muffle that sound. The light switch, okay, this button here, will turn on the lights. Now the rear lights will not turn on. They only turn on when the truck is moving forward or backwards. But if you do the steering input, which is this one, left or right, you can see the blinker goes, right? And if you do the other way, the blinker on the other side goes. That's a nice feature. Alright, these two buttons here in the middle are adjustability for the steering, I believe. It's all I got out of it. And then this side here is just forwards and backwards. That's it. These buttons do not do anything, and neither do those. They're for looks. And then this button here, or this lever, if you pull it back or forward, it'll lift the tailgate. Right? If you go backwards, doesn't matter. it'll go through the cycle. And you can see as it's tipping, the lights will flash. Okay? So there you have it. Just a quick detailed look at the truck. No functioning doors, no functioning hood. You cannot get into this model. It is pretty much a look pretty kind of deal and work. Now, let's get into the underbelly. So when we start to look underneath here, you see that there is no suspension. This tire does not move up or down. I mean, there's a tiny little bit of give, but it's a small spring, you see? And that's as much suspension travel as you're gonna get. It's not a real suspension. Next, you have your switch right here. Battery goes in here. This is the floating axle, okay? So if you pop it out of its little spot here, this comes down and it steers on its own, but it floats, okay? The rear here has no suspension travel whatsoever. It's a solid axle. I mean, you can't move these guys, right? But all 4 axles will move in unison. So if one tire gets spinning, the rest will spin as well, okay? So just keep that in mind. I believe that there was some sort of hitch here, possibly not. It looks like it was broken off. That's how I got it. These mud flaps are plasticky, not rubber. Okay, if you're looking to modify this, these tires are pretty close to here, so there is a lot of cutting you probably have to do to get some regular truck tires in there, and these ones as well. That modification will impact that piece there, and I'll show you a comparison with a 1/14 scale tire. Well, this truck is pretty close to the Bruder size machines. Bruder's made in a 1/16 scale. So as you can see here, it's not too much shorter. All right. The wheels, the Bruder wheels are a little bit bigger. The bigger difference is the width. The Bruder is a little bit wider, and I mean by like maybe an inch wider. Okay. That makes a difference. And the tops are about 1/2 inch to 3/4 taller. But again, that could be because of the tires and the suspension setup there, like the gap. As you can see, it's pretty close. So you can get away with it. What you won't get away with is a Tamiya truck or any other 1/14 scale truck. As you can see, the Tamiya dwarfs the Western Star. As far as height, width, there's a major difference in width as well. The height of the truck, you can see the tires are already at the top, almost the top of the wheel well of this truck. Just because my suspension is much higher, the tires will sort of define that. As you can see, my Tamiya truck is almost the same size as far, or same length as far as the Western Star, but it is much bigger. As far as capacity, you can see the Tamiya is wider and almost as long as, pretty much the same length, just wider. But Western Star is a little bit deeper, so it does have more height here versus the Tamiya's truck. But again, depending on the type of bed you put on your truck, it just won't look scaled.
just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop.